The topic of this video is managing your students' profiles in Exxat Prism. This video is comprised of 9 chapters. Using this video, you can learn how to set up and manage your students' profiles in Exxat Prism, share a student's profile, review compliance documents, assign communications and interventions, and more. Before we proceed, we want to provide a disclaimer. The information presented in this tutorial does not belong to a real individual. We have included mock information solely for educational purposes. Additionally, please note that some features discussed may not be applicable to your program. First, click on the Students section of your dashboard, then click on a specific student's name. This will take you to the Academic tab of this student's profile. On the top left-hand side of the page, you can view the student's profile image, as well as general contact and academic information. To change the student's profile image, click on the profile image. You can then click the Delete Image button to remove the image. You can also click Change Image to upload a new image. Please note that images will be resized to fit the frame, therefore it is important to upload a square image. When you are done, click on the X to close this window. Here you can view and edit academic information for the student. Click on the pencil icon in the Status section to make changes to their status, enrollment term, graduation term, academic standing, group, campus, and student category. To add notes for the student, click on the plus icon next to the Shared with Students text of the Notes section. You can then enter your note and provide a related document if you would like to do so. You can also add notes for internal use, which are not shared with the student. To do this, click on the plus icon next to the Internal Use Only text. You can then provide your note and supporting document. Save once finished. To change the student's cohort, click on the Update Cohort button. A description of the impact areas of moving a student from one cohort to another will be displayed. Click the Next button. The student's current cohort will be displayed on the left-hand side. Use the drop-down menu on the right to select the new cohort. After you have made your selection, click the Update Cohort button. A small text box will appear telling you the cohort movement is in progress. This process may take some time, so you may want to move on and come back to this page later to check if the student was moved successfully. Below this, there will be a list of program requirements you have assigned to the student. Uncompleted program requirements will have a red X displayed to the left of the requirement name. If you would like to change the status of a requirement to indicate it was completed, click on the pencil icon, select the completed requirements, and save. In the Associated Staff and Faculty section, you can view the student advisors previously assigned to the student. Click on the plus icon to assign another student advisor to the student. You will then select the faculty member, assign their role, and provide notes for their assignment. To make any changes to previously added student advisor assignments, click on the pencil icon. You can then change the faculty member, their role, and the notes added to this assignment. Below this, you can view assigned student attestations and the status of these attestations. The Profile tab holds demographic, contact, and other information about the student. Most of the time, students are supposed to fill out all the information in the Student Profile tab. You do have the ability to add and edit information on behalf of the student, but we advise you have your students fill it out initially. This section of the student profile is important because there is information on this page that sites will use in determining whether to accept them for a clinical placement. Therefore, it is very important that the Profile tab is up to date when you send the student's profile to clinical sites. The Demographics section holds information related to the student demographics. The Personal Contact section holds personal contact information for the student. The Emergency Contact section is where your students will provide their emergency contact information. Click on a drop-down in this section to view that emergency contact. The Additional Profile Details section is where your student will answer the additional profile details questions you have uploaded in the Student Setup section. The status of this section will change based on whether your student has answered these questions or not. You will see the answered questions displayed in the list. The Summary section holds a few questions for your student to answer about their educational learning style and statement of purpose. In the Areas of Professional Interest section, the student will select the clinical settings they are most interested in professionally. In the Resume section, the student can upload their resume or CV for storage and sharing purposes. To view this uploaded resume, click on the document's hyperlink. A page will open displaying the document. You can also download the document by clicking on the download button to the right of the document's name. The education section holds information related to the student's past educational experiences. The work experience section holds information related to the student's past work experiences, either employment-related or volunteer-related. The membership section holds information about the student's memberships. The licensure section holds information about any current licenses the student holds. Lastly, the skills and accomplishments section holds information about the student's continuing education, publications, language skills, certifications, honors and awards, and other scholarly activity. To add information to any of these sections, click on the plus icon. This will open a window for you to fill in the related information. Click on the Save button when you are finished. To make changes to any entry or section, click on the corresponding pencil icon. You can then make the necessary changes and then save it. To delete an entry from a list of entries, click on the vertical ellipses in the upper right-hand side of the page, and then select Delete. During the placement process, you will need to share student profiles with sites. Sites will then view the student's profile to ensure they are suitable for the clinical placement. To do this, click on the Share Profile drop-down in the top right-hand corner, then select the Share Profile option. When sharing a student's profile, the link you send will automatically contain their full name, preferred pronouns, school email address, areas of professional interest, resume, educational history, work experience, skills and accomplishments, and the summary section of their profile. You can now indicate what other information you would like to send. If you would like to send their contact information, click on the drop-down arrow and indicate which type of contact information you would like to send. You could send their personal contact information, address information, or emergency contact information by checking the box next to that type of information. To send all their contact information, click on the box next to the top of the list. You could also indicate if you want to include their completed program requirements, completed placements, or compliance documents. You can click on the down arrow to select specific placements or compliance documents. Please note the data will only be displayed if there is information populated in these fields. After you have indicated the additional information you would like to send, you will now add the recipients. In the to box, enter the email address of the person you would like to share their profile with. It is also possible to share this profile with multiple recipients at the same time. To do this, enter the email addresses separated by a comma. You can also CC any other recipient if you so desire. You can also attach files to the email you are sending. To do this, click on the Browse to Upload button and then select the files from your computer. Please note the supported file formats and the size limitations here. At the bottom of the page, there will be a short template of the email you are sending. To see a detailed preview of this shared profile, click on the vertical ellipsis on the top right side of the drawer, and then click Preview. The window that just opened will show you this preview. When you are ready, go ahead and click Send. The student's profile will then be shared with the indicated recipients. Under the Share Profile button, there will be a link titled Profile Share History. To review the instances in which this student's profile has been shared, click on this link. A drawer will open with a table detailing these instances. The table will tell you the recipient's name, the recipient's email address, the status of your sent profile, and the time and date that the email was sent. To view more details on a specific status, hover your mouse over that displayed status and a small message will appear with an explanation. To generate a URL to the student's profile, click on the Generate Profile URL option. Here you can select the types of information you would like to include in the profile link. After you have made your selections, you can click the Preview button to view what the profile page will look like, then click Generate URL. You can then copy this link to share it using the Copy button on the right of the link. Lastly, there is also a profile download option to view the student's profile offline or print this out for your physical records. To download the student's profile, click on the Share Profile drop-down and select Download Profile. The student's profile will then be downloaded in the PDF format. Sometimes you might want to verify if you've completely set up the student account as intended or check how the information appears for a student. In order to view what a specific student's Exxat login looks like, click on the View As button. This will take you to this student's dashboard. You can then navigate this student's login. Please note that you will not be able to make changes, add, or delete information on behalf of the student when you are in View As mode, but you will be able to explore the entire student's Exxat account in view-only mode. Once you are done, click Switch Back. This will bring you back to the student profile page. In the Compliance tab, you can view and review uploaded student compliance documents. Compliance documentation is how your program collects students' healthcare, identity, insurance, and certification information to clear the student for clinical placement. You will need to make sure the student uploads the required documents, and you review them before the student is ready for clinical placement. You will see a table displaying the name of the compliance documents, the status of each document, the document due dates, follow-up dates, and expiration dates if these have been set up, and lastly whether the document can be included when sharing the student's profile. Any date marked in red text indicates that the document is past due. You should then notify your students of these incomplete compliance documentation immediately. To download the list of compliance documents, click on the Download Report button. You will then be able to select the documents you would like to download. Please note that you will not be able to download any documentation which has been marked as sensitive. Once you have made your selections, you can then click the Download button on the left-hand side to download a report of the selected compliance documentation in the PDF format. You can also download the actual documents the student has uploaded. Just click on the Download Files for Selected Documents button on the right-hand side. This will download a zip file with all the selected files. Click on the status of a compliance document. A window will then open. Scroll down, and you will see information about the student's submission. Click on the View Document hyperlink to view the student's uploaded document. If everything looks correct, and the uploaded document satisfies this compliance requirement, click on the drop-down and select Approve. You can then select a reason for approving the document if you are approving it under any special circumstances. If the document does not satisfy the compliance requirement, for example, if the wrong document was uploaded, select Not Approved. You will then need to select a reason for why you marked this document as not approved. If you would like to indicate that you will come back to this document later to review it, click on Pending Review. You can then indicate the reason why you selected this status. Lastly, if you would like to unsubmit the document for the student to make changes to it, select the In Progress status. You can then select a follow-up date. If you would like to add comments to your student, you can add this comment in the provided text box. This can be useful if you would like to provide additional clarifications to the student. In the upper right-hand side of the window there is the Review Clarifications section. This is a place for you to provide messages to the approved team members concerning a specific compliance document. Students will not be able to view these messages. Click on the plus icon to add a new message. A window will appear with a text box for you to provide your message. Below this text box there is a list of previous messages added by you or other members. After you provide your message, click Save and your message will be saved to the list. To update the compliance document itself, on behalf of the student, click on plus or pencil icon to upload a new document or change the submitted compliance details. You can then change any associated dates using the calendar icon. You can provide notes to the document and upload files using the Upload Files button. To delete an uploaded file, click on the trash bin icon next to the file's name. You can then upload a new file. When you are done making changes to the compliance documentation, click on the Save button. Once you are done reviewing this compliance document, click the Update Status button. The document status will then be updated. Within the Communications tab, you can log any notable communications you have with the student. You can also view communications added by other administrators and faculty members. Each communication entry will have its own card. Within each card, you can view the title, description, follow-up information, and any uploaded documentation. You can also see who conducted the communication, the date of the communication, and the date the communication was logged. Please note that if a scheduled follow-up date has passed without any update to the communication, this date will appear in red text. If you would like to add a communication, click on the plus icon. You can then provide the relevant information such as the person who initiated the contact with the student, the mode of communication, the date, subject, and description of the encounter. You may want to upload a supporting document as well. If so, please check the supported file types and size limits and click on the Browse to Upload button. You can then select the desired document for upload. You are also able to provide follow-up information here. If you plan to conduct a follow-up, populate the plan date in the follow-up section. If the follow-up has already been conducted, enter the actual follow-up date as well. Lastly, describe the follow-up. You are now ready to save this communication. To edit any entry, click on the pencil icon. You can then make changes to the entry. Save once you are finished. If you would like to delete any previous entries, click on the vertical ellipses and then select Delete. In the Interventions tab, you can log interventions you have conducted to help students overcome academic, personal, or professional challenges. These interventions may involve academic advising, counseling services, and other forms of support to promote student success and well-being throughout their academic journey. You can view any previously entered interventions here. Interventions added by other administrators and faculty members will also show up on this page. There will be sections for open interventions and closed interventions. Open interventions are ongoing. Closed interventions are those that have been resolved. Click on the Expand button to view the list of interventions. On the left-hand side, you can view the subject, details, date added, and date of the intervention. On the right, there will be a small box containing any follow-up information. If there is a follow-up planned for a specific date, that date will be populated here. If the planned follow-up date has since passed, the text displaying the date will appear in red. If you would like to edit any previously entered interventions, click on the pencil icon. If you would like to delete a previously entered entry, you can use the vertical ellipses to select Delete. To add an intervention entry, click on the plus icon. You can then provide the relevant information such as the person who initiated the contact with the student, the method of contact, the date, subject, and description of the encounter. You will also indicate the course, rotation, and site of the student's placement. You may want to upload a supporting document as well. If so, please check the supported file types and size limits and click on the Browse to Upload button. You can then select the desired document for upload. Then indicate whether this intervention is still open, or if it is closed. You are also able to provide follow-up information here. Click the plus icon to add a follow-up. You can add multiple follow-ups to an intervention. First, populate the date you plan to conduct the intervention. If the follow-up has already been conducted, enter the actual follow-up date as well. To delete a follow-up entry, you can use the trash bin icon here. Lastly, provide a description for the follow-up intervention. You are now ready to save this entry. Within the Coursework tab, you will see all the placements for the student. Click on the location name to go to the location page to see all the details of the location. Click on View Additional Details to view information such as the experiential supervisors associated with the student, associated placement faculty, and the overall status of their learning activities. If a student's placement is non-consecutive, click on the calendar icon here to view the specific dates of the student's placement. The Learning Activities tab allows you to view and review the information of specific learning activities for the student's placements. The types of learning activities available are forms or evaluations, patient logs, timesheets, and time off. First, select Forms or Evaluations. You will see a list of the courses with the forms or evaluations activated. You can click on the placement name to expand the list of forms and evaluations available. Click on the status to view the contents of that form or evaluation. You can then review this form or evaluation. In the Patient Log tab, you can view and review all patient log entries for each of the student's clinical placements. You can use the search box to type in a course name or use the filter options to view the logs for specific settings or statuses. In the table, you will see the course name, placement details, total number of logs, and the logs sorted by status. Yellow represents pending review, red represents needs attention, and green represents approved. Click on one of the statuses to go to the patient log page to view details. If you would like to see entries of different statuses, click on the Status drop-down menu and make your selections. You can then review the student's patient log by clicking on the patient log ID. Next, click on the Timesheet tab. Here you can view and review each of the timesheet entries for the student's placements. You will see a list of courses in which the student has been placed, their placement details, and their timesheet hours categorized by status. You can use the search box to type in a course name or use the filter options to view the details for specific settings and statuses. The student's total number of hours across courses will be displayed at the top of the table, and this will also be categorized by the submission status. To view the hours with respect to a course and specific status, click on one of the statuses. It is possible to view the timesheet entries entered between specific dates. To do this, click on the calendar icons and select a start date and an end date. If you would like to see entries of different statuses, click on the Status drop-down menu and make your selections. You can then review timesheet entries on this page. Lastly, we will go over the Time Off tab. In the Time Off tab, you will see a list of courses that have the Time Off Learning activity activated. You can use the search box to type in a course name or use the filter options to view the details for specific settings or statuses. Please note that a course will only appear when the student has submitted time off entries. On the right-hand side of this table, you will see the time off entries submitted for a course, categorized by status. Click on one of the statuses to view the time off entries for that specific status. It is possible to view the entries entered between specific dates. To do this, click on the calendar icons and select a start date and an end date. If you would like to see entries of different statuses, click on the Status drop-down menu and make your selections. You can then review the student's time off entries. Thank you for watching our Managing Students Profiles guide. Please take the time to check out our other helpful user guides, uploaded to the Exxat channel.